Johnny, are you looking forward to the Premier League returning with the fixtures now that we know what they are?
Yeah, like it's strange to be honest. The lockdown has had an effect on everyone, and I've gotten used to doing other stuff. So I've kind of gotten used to football being gone, and obviously the fact that the Premier League, it hasn't been an incredibly exciting season, but I'm still looking forward to seeing it back. The behind closed doors element, I think it does impinge on your enjoyment. And the BBC getting games back, there's a bit of a novelty to it.
Will you pipe the music in? Will you?
I don't know. Like I do like kind of watching games without commentaries, but I prefer to watch a game with a bit of a crowd. So I don't know. I hadn't really thought about that.
It's harsh on Dave and Nathan, Johnny. Bloody hell! When you have a go at them earlier on.
Well, this is it. I mean, when you see JD doing that goal impression earlier on,
well, that's why I never made it.
This is it. You've made it as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing it. But I am looking forward to seeing the League of Ireland more because with respect to the Premier League, the really important stuff is kind of decided, and the League of Ireland had just started, John, as well. I mean, it was developing into a fairly intriguing title race already, with Shamrock Rovers having been 3 points ahead, and Dundalk really only starting to.
Jordan Flowers, remember that was back in 1978. That goal.
Yeah, Jordan Flowers, Stephen McGuinness, Rory Higgins going to the Ireland setup, which hasn't been finalised yet, but leaving Dundalk, Alan Reynolds possibly joining Dundalk. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I was really, really enjoying the start of the season. Stephen O'Donnell, who's been on this off the ball a few times, taking over at St Patrick's. I'm a Galway United fan. We look to have a great chance getting promoted this year, and it was mooted yesterday that there was a potential that the First Division wouldn't even have a promotion aspect to it this season, which I thought was really, really basket case. So there's an awful lot going on. The Premier League, it will be good to get it back. It'll be a little bit difficult for Liverpool fans if they can't go on and after all this time, celebrate their team actually lifting the cup. But it will be good to have it back. And I do feel for fans though. Football is an incredibly important part of people's lives, and they have missed it an awful lot. And I hope
they've had the World Cup chats, lads.
Well,
they've had that.
They've had that.
Yeah. How long is this going to go on? Even, I mean, are we going to we're going to run out of World Cups, aren't we?
Well, there's always Euros. There's always other things we can talk about.
There's only going to be one game on a Saturday. I mean, the point I made during the week is just that it's going to be brilliant when it comes back. I think it is, and there still is. I mean, Liverpool are going to win the league.
The Champions League. I know the Manchester City's thing is a tricky one, but as a Spurs fan, I'm interested. West Ham, Aston Villa fans, plenty of them in the country.
Well, yeah, I think you've got from the Irish perspective. I mean, Sheffield United,
Wolves,
and Wolves. Matt Doherty, Enda Stevens, and John Egan, who I know was on with Nathan and McGoldrick. So there is going to be stuff. My point is that it's just the binge watching plan of it, and I understand it. When people needed a lift in morale, the idea of 92 games, a game every night of the week, 7 or 8 games on a weekend. In theory, it sounds great, but I actually think it gets to the point where if a lot of the issues are resolved, that all of a sudden a weekend with 4 Saturdays, 4 Saturday games building up to, I don't know, West Ham and Watford, with all due respect, battling for relegation. It could end up being a bit flat. And actually, some of these Saturdays towards the end of the season, you have all these games going on at the same time, and what do scores elsewhere mean for this? We're not actually going to have that. It's going to be like a World Cup, except for some teams, or a lot of teams, they're dead rubbers. So I just think the excitement is going to fade pretty quickly, and there's going to be a lot of games where people are going to think, I might go outside and continue, riding my bike like Johnny has, or go for a walk or whatever. But at the same time, I think and they're going to be behind closed doors as well. So as spectacles, they're still going to be. So I just don't think it's going to be as captivating over a long period of time as it will be in that first week, 10 days back, when, of course, I think everyone will be drinking it in.
Good news for Shane Long this week, by the way.
Yeah, great news for Shane Long, and in fairness to him, the career he's had to get a new deal, you gotta really give it to him. And before all of this madness, we were obviously talking of the potential that he might be used in the Irish game. But I think Dan's point is very valid there. That my local pub in Rialto, introduced this collect a pint of Guinness thing there during the week. So I got a pint yesterday, and I have to say I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I think when we go back and the pubs reopen, you know, all these Irish lads who've been like saying, oh, geez, I can't wait for the bars to open. I can't wait for this. They'll go in, and after they'll be halfway through their second pint and be like, I remember this, yeah, actually it's great, but like I think I built it up a bit too much. And I think football will be a bit like that. It'll be great at the start, but all these staggered games, a lot of dead rubbers. I wonder, will they look at the streaming of these games and look at the figures and look at the betting turnover on them and get these kind of dystopian notions of doing this more often to kind of enhance revenue for clubs and for streaming rights?
English football won't allow it. They won't allow it. They have to have their Saturdays at 3.
Yeah, hopefully not. You know, so that'll be interesting.
It's testing the waters, though. I think it's a good point. Like that, they've broken with tradition now. You know, for exceptional circumstances. But you know, there would have been a time when, you know, having all these games on Sundays and Friday nights was breaking with tradition too. So it's testing it a small bit, John. I do think I fundamentally agree with you that they will return to some traditions, but it definitely is giving them the flexibility to explore. And that extends to a lot of things around Europe that people are suddenly thinking about, you know, TV games at 7 nights a week and whatever it might be.
You've got to be very careful what you wish for in that regard as well, because football overload is dangerous.